Hi, it's James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to take a look at the RPG Everyday Heroes, published by Evil Genius Games. I'm going to take a look at the core rulebook. I'm going to take you down the table here. We'll just do a quick overview of what's in the core rulebook, and then we're going to come back and talk about it a little bit. But this game here is going to allow you to play in a modern setting. If you know 5th Ed, you're going to be able to easily jump into this game, so that is going to be a huge bonus. Now, when we go down to the table here, like I said, I'm going to show you how the book is laid out, what's in the book, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you my final thoughts. All right, so this is Everyday Heroes core rulebook. Now, this is going to be based off of 5th Ed, so it's going to be a D20 style game in here. And if you're familiar with 5th Ed, this is going to be a very easy system to get into, especially if you're into 5th Ed and you're getting tired of that fantasy realm that D&D is in, and you want to have something more modern. I know I just said something more modern, just run right into a dinosaur, but you could jump into this game here. Now, one thing I did want to point out before we really get going, I think it's towards here. If you are, and most people are that are playing the RPGs, if you are familiar with D&D, you really want to look at this section here. This section here is the Appendix A, and this is going to challenge you to tell you the changes from 5th Ed. There are some. They're not that drastic, so if you know how to play 5th Ed, you're going to be really easy to jump into this. But these are going to go over the changes that are in this compared to 5th Ed. So this would be a really great place to start. Notice it just goes into these 2 pages into half of a third page. So it's not a whole lot. And that will really put you up to speed with this book here. So just go to there, and that is going to be your starting point if you're used to how 5th Ed works. Now, if you're not used to 5th Ed, if you're not, all the rules are in here, so you can learn. No big deal. And this is a gateway to D&D. If you've never played D&D, you like this, and then you just want to play a fantasy style game too. If you learn how to play this, you're going to get a jump start into learning how to play D&D too. So it works both ways. Now, this book here is going to be divided into 3 sections here. Let me see if I can find that little thing to show you. So you're going to have the hero section, which is going to be your first section. You're going to have the game rules section here. And then you're going to have the mastering the game section here. This is going to be mainly for the DM portion on here. So if you are just not DMing the game and you want to just play it, you definitely need to read this hero section. If you've never played D&D before, you're going to want to read through this game rules section. If you've played D&D before and you're not DMing, all you need to do is read the hero section to create your hero and stuff, and read that page, 441 there, to see what the differences are, and you're ready to go. That's it. Like, super easy. Now, there is a lot into character creation in this game, so you're going to want to read through that. There's going to be no classes in this. There are classes, sorry. There's not going to be any races in this game. You're only human. This is going to be more modern style. So you're going to have mainly backgrounds and archetypes is going to really be what's going to drive you through that. And they're going to be similar to your classes. You have 23 backgrounds in this, which is going to be more than D&D. And you only can go up to level 10. Now, most people, when they're playing D&D, that's really only place they go to. After that, I think D&D breaks down after you go through level 10. So they just capped it at level 10 in here because that's really what makes sense. Plus, you're playing only as humans, and you're not really like super powered. So there's a point where you got to stop. But you're going to, and this gets into like a little bit of here's your hero generation here. So this is really where, if you want to start, if you're going to just be playing the game and you're not DMing the game, even if you're DMing the game, you need to know how they're doing it. But you're going to create a hero here, and there's a couple different things you need to do. You need to do the character concept, you need to do the background, you need to do profession, you need to determine ability scores, and equipment and HP all need to be figured out. So generally, most of the stuff is going to be like real life profession. So if you have a general idea of like what you want to do, that's going to help you out if you think about it a little bit. Here's some of the archetypes that you can be in the game. So it could tell you like archetype strong, you can do agile, tough, smart, wise, charming. And here's some class and description. Like here's a brawler, heavy gunner, MMA fighter for strong, agile, you can do martial artist, scoundrel, sharpshooter, tough, bodyguard, commando, scrapper, smart, engineer, hacker, mastermind, scientist. Wise, you could be hunter, master, sleuth. Charming, you could be duelist, you could be an icon, you could be a leader, you could be a manipulator. And they'll tell you how to set up your profession here. And you can notice this says strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma, just like D&D. I'm not really going over the rules here. By the way, this is just going to be just a general idea of how this is. And one of the things, so this goes into 6 steps, but one of the things that I think is very important in this one, which a lot of people might skip, is going to be the finishing touches. Those are pretty nice. You can get into personas and stuff like that. And since you're developing like real life-ish characters, fleshing these out as much as possible is really nice. This is going to tell you how you're going to be doing the gaining of levels here. And here is going to get into your backgrounds. So you can do like art activist, art lover, bookworm, caregiver. There's going to be juvenile delinquent, LARPer, military tradition, on the run, all sorts of different things you can do to set up your background and how these backgrounds can affect you. Social butterfly, survivor. And then this chapter gets into your professions here. You can do academia, agriculture, counseling, creative, lots of different things, espionage, finance, emergency services, journalism, investigative services, law enforcement. You can do science, politics, military, student, trades, all sorts of different really cool stuff in here. And this is going to get into archetypes and classes here. And this is going to be a big thing to pick from. And you could actually go through this backwards too. If you're completely lost, you can sort of create your archetypes and classes first and then go into your professions. And then if that helps you out a little bit. But here you get into your like strong heroes and how they level up. You get, which is going to be your brawler, your heavy gunner, your MMA fighter, and agile heroes and how they level up, martial artist, sharpshooter, tough heroes like your bodyguards, your commandos, your scrappers, smart heroes like your engineer and stuff, and how they level up, hacker, mastermind, scientists, wise heroes, so like your hunters and stuff. And your hunter actually gets an animal companion, which is pretty cool too. Masters, sleuths, charming heroes like your duelist or your icon, or your leaders or your manipulators. And then this gets into the finishing touches, which I think is really cool, where you can develop your persona. You can do your different critical calculations in here, motivations. Motivations I think is super important, especially if you really want to get into the narrative of the game and really get into the role-playing aspect. You should get those up. Here's equipment. Equipment is actually, there's a lot of equipment, which could be a little overwhelming. If you're the GM, you should probably help people through this. There's just so much stuff that you could get. Just lots of equipment, And this is all modern based, so there's a good level of contacts with that, which is good. But yeah, so much equipment, just crazy. You get a tank. But yeah, let's keep on going here. Oops. Want to get into feats here. All right. So chapter 7 gets you into your feats. Feats are to optimize and add variety to the hero. By using them, you could customize a hero with what they can do. There's a ton of different feats. There's going to be minor feats, major feats, multi-class major feats that you could pick through. Like grappler or cross training or different things like lead by example, pinning fire, pack rat, sticky fingers, all sorts of different feats that you can pick up, and there's a lot to go through here. So there's a lot of customizability in this game, which is really, really nice. Just like in D&D, you can have a very unique character and have a very unique role-playing experience that you can really get into, and just enriches the game. And this is Game Rules. This is basically going to go over a lot of how to play 5th Ed, and then a couple exceptions for this game, like chases. Now, chases in this game are a little different. In chases this game, you're going to have a set time to be able to make it through the round. And when that time runs, chases and vehicles, when that time runs out, whoever has the most points is going to be the winner of the chase. So either you catch them or you don't. So it's a little odd, but you probably wouldn't want to chase to end or run indefinitely, which one could. So you have a set amount of time to try to catch the culprit or escape, which is pretty nice. And then mastering the game in here, that's going to be mainly for the GM, like the GM toolbox I could talk about here. And go in, the GM can learn how to set up different scenarios, how to deal with terrain interaction and environmental interaction in the game. All different things for the GM to learn. So this is a really good section for that, and you see it's very, very detailed, which is really good. And again, if you know 5th Ed, you can get through this pretty quick. You're really just looking at the modern interpretations of a lot of the stuff here. Getting into running the game itself. And how you should be handling being a GM. How you should be building up the heroes, or, tearing them down to basically create tension in the game here. Good tension. And it's like building tension across a story here. And how to do it properly without causing your players to disengage. And basically the whole point is to have fun. So keep everything engaging and fun in the game. Getting into creating adventures in this section. And so on. It'll just keep on going with all different cool stuff here. These are some of the boilerplate monsters that you can have in the game. When they're all people, but so you can have assassins, you can have mob kings, you can have cult leaders, whatever fits the theme of what you're trying to do. Spies, cops, sniper, private security, whatever you need your NPCs to be is in here. So there's a lot in here. It tells you also how to handle your own, how to balance them up. If you want to do like a futuristic element to it. So if you want to have like Terminator style stuff going on, you can go into this section here, like futuristic robots. So even though it's in a modern theme, you can do a lot with this. So you can do post-apocalyptic, you can do with emerging AI or post-apocalyptic with AI. There's so much stuff that you can do with this that is really, really cool. And this helps you with your NPCs for whatever you think, like a zombie. So you can do modern zombie game, which is really cool. And what the biggest thing that I could say about this is that this is really cool because you could really use this over a plethora of different ideas set in the modern age or post-apocalyptic, and bring people into playing it real easily because it is really heavily based on 5th ed. And if you know 5th ed, they're going to be able to jump into this really quick. So really cool. That is going to be just an overview of what the book is for Everyday Heroes is the core rule book. Let's go ahead back up to the table here and I'll give you my final thoughts on it. All right, so I hope that little quick overview helped give you an idea what comes in this book of Everyday Heroes. Again, if you know 5th ed, you're going to be able to easily jump into this book and get it to the table really quick, especially since the majority, or I feel the majority of RPG players already know how to play D&D. That is the go-to de facto RPG for most people. And if you ever get tired of playing that fantasy realm and you want to try something a little different, this one is definitely going to be up your alley. Not only is it going to be an easy transition, so your players don't need to learn a whole new rule set to play a different type of RPG game. Since they already know 5th ed, they can jump in straight into this. Just with going into that back of the book and looking at those couple differences there, and then getting into hero creation, and they're ready to go. So very low barrier to entry here if they already know 5th ed, and really easy for you to be able to bring a new, fresh RPG session to the table. And this thing is super open to anything that is modern. And if you like any form of action film whatsoever, you can translate that into this. So if you want to play Terminator, go for it. You want to play Aliens, go for it. It'll work. If you want to play zombies or you want to play post-apocalyptic, this system works for it. If you want to just play modern day, where you're a bunch of cops trying to solve a mystery and defeat the cartel, you can do that. Just whatever you could think of that's modern can work with this. So it's very broad. So you're not stuck into just one thing. So you're not stuck into this like fantasy world where you just have, and I know that hack can have a lot of breadth, like you could have a lot going to that. It's just this thing seems more open, and since people are used to modern things, there is a lot of familiarity with these things too, so it's easier to go through that, especially if you have a group that loves like a movie series or loves a specific movie and you want to play it as an RPG. There you go. Well, as long as it's modern-ish. Really like this. Really like the love that they put into this game. Love all the work that they put into this game. You can tell that they really cared. You could tell this is not a newish game. I'm not the biggest RPG player in the world, so I don't know a lot about the history of RPGs and stuff, but I believe this has been around for a while. I don't believe it was 5th ed until recently, which is what this book is for. It is the basis of what most people play for D&D. So, again, not the largest RPG player in the world, or at least I don't know like a lot of the background or history of the different versions of D&D and such, but I do find this very intriguing. I love a lot of the Free League stuff because they get into like unique sort of role-playing experiences, but I also do understand that the base of people are into 5th ed, and this, because of that, this is going to be the best to pick for you want to play in a modern setting. This is going to be what you can get people into. This is what you can get people invested into without having to have them spend months getting ready. You can basically just go over that 2.5 pages in the end. I can't really get over how easy it is for 5th ed players to get into this. So I keep repeating it, but it's great. So yes, so if you play D&D and you like D&D, you like role-playing in general, and you want to have a modern setting, this is for you. Everyday Heroes is 100% for you. You should definitely pick it up. If you've never played an RPG, you're not really interested in the fantasy elements, you're more interested in maybe playing an RPG in like modern sort of settings, this is also for you. It's very, D&D has become very streamlined for 5th Ed. This reflects that, and you don't need to know D&D to play this game. You can read in the core rule book the rules for the game and get into it just the same. And as added bonus, if you also, after you get playing this, you're like, well, you know what, maybe I want to play a fantasy theme one too. That will help you get into that. So really highly recommend this RPG. Think they did a really good job with it. They really definitely put a lot of love and a lot of work into it. But that's my thoughts on it. Thank you for watching.